Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Luxlite, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to master your weapon in Brawlhalla. Also, happy Valentine's Day. I'm not looking for a teammate. Let's go to trading room, and let's pick our main. Ooh, what are we picking? Team Sweet or Team Sour? Ooh, what are my friends picking? Okay, someone picked Sour. I can't check people's profiles there. We got one pick for Sour. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like most sour things. Like, at most, maybe like some like sour candy, which I guess kind of counts as sweet too. So like, I guess go Team Sweet. Yeah, everyone pick Team Sweet, y'all. Pick Team Sweet. We're gonna go Team Sweet. Okay, so first things first, in order to master your weapon, we gotta start off with the basics. And if you already know the basics, keep watching the video. I'm telling you, you're gonna learn something new if you watch this video to the very end. So, first thing though, right? We gotta learn our weapon's true combos. The best way to learn your weapon's true combos is either you can go to YouTube, search up your weapon, find the most recent guide, watch the guide, you'll learn your true combos there. Or you can use BrawlDB or Brawl Database, right? And this is basically gonna tell you all the combos, and it's going to tell you like what combos are useful, what combos aren't, and just like specific things like what damages does it work at, what decks do you need. So what you can do is if you just come here to the top left, you can click these three little rectangle things, I don't know what they call them, right? You just click on combos, and then you just want to click show filters. And here you just want to pick your main or your weapons you play. So for this example, I'm just going to pick Lance, right? And then down here, you're going to see all the Lance true combos, right? And this little gear right here just means how usable the combo is. And basically, the way you're going to gauge on what combos you should be going for and what combos you shouldn't be going for is basically by this usability meter, right? So, like, I can look at Satellite Jump Dare. It's got 10. Satellite Jump Nair, it's got 10. So, these are, like, going to be my main combos I want to be using. And then if we scroll down, we see, like, D-Light into N-Light, right? Which has a usability of 6. Okay. We can look at, like, why is it 6? Well, because it only works at certain HP. It requires 9+ dex, right? So, unless I'm playing a Legend that has 9+ dex, which is only Lord Vrax for Lance, and if my opponent's at this HP, is the only time I'm going to go for it. So, this combo's too useful. It's just I would only go for it if I'm playing Lord Vrax. As for these kind of combos, Satellite Jump In-Light just makes no sense to go for. Never go for it. Dare into D-Light is usable, but it's kind of like depending on where you hit it, I believe. Yeah, you have to like hit it at a certain angle. So, it's sometimes usable. I would usually just consider a string, unless you, like, know how to hit it true consistently. And it only works at low HP, so not really something to really look too far into. Just kind of like a string option, maybe something you can go for in certain situations. You got Dare into D-Light into N-Light, which obviously only works on Lord Vrax. It's just the same thing as this combo, but it mixes in the N-Light, so kind of discarding that unless you play Lord Vrax and you want to go for something like that. So, basically what we can do is we can just keep these two combos in mind. We can go to trading room, and then we're just going to practice those true combos. So, for example, we're just going to do Sideline to Jump Dare, and then Sideline to Jump Nair, and we're basically just going to practice those until we get it true 10 times out of 10, 20 times out of 10, however many you want to do. And the way you know if it's true is just if you see a dodge window. So, like, if I'm doing it true, there's no dodge window. If I'm not doing it true, there's a dodge window of 4, or, like, let's say there's, like, a dodge window of 2 or something, right? And that way you can gauge whether or not you're hitting the true combo is true. It's just if you see a dodge window or not, right? If there's any dodge window, you didn't hit true. Okay, so the next way to master your weapon is actually learning your entire weapon's kit. And what I mean by that is don't limit yourself to 2 to 3 moves. A lot of people in Plat especially, like let's say they're in Plat and they're playing Lance, a lot of people just kind of only go for Sarah and Dare, and they don't really consider any other options, which just limits them because now they're only doing 2 moves. It's super easy to predict because it's like, oh, you're only going to go for Sarah and Dare. That's the only moves I have to worry about. And then you're just missing out on free damage that you could possibly get if, let's say, you go for N-Light or D-Light. And say for like Axe, for example, a lot of people just don't even use D-Light, and their opponents are just diagonally above them. It's a free hit, but they don't even think about going for D-Light. So how do we actually learn our entire weapons kit? So what we do is we look at our weapons, right? We look at what moves they have. So for example, Lance has N-Light, right? N-Light comes out really fast. It's kind of like a medium range, long range move, right? So it hits pretty far. It's got a few pokes, so the hitbox stays out for a little bit. I would use N-Light for basically poking my opponent, right? Like if I'm far away from my opponent, let's say he misses a move like a unarmed N-Light, I can dash in N-Light for a quick punish. I can dash back, reset to neutral, for example. Right? That's how you can use N-Light. It's kind of like a poke option. Same thing for if they like try to dash into me. If they're trying to dash into me, I'll just use N-Light to poke them away. And let's say for like D-Light, for example. D-Light's similar to N-Light, except for it hits closer, right? And I move back for it, so I would probably use this as maybe like a free landing catch. Like when my opponent's landing stacked to me, I can catch their landing with D-Light. Or like if they're already stacked to me, let's say they're playing guitars, they're trying to get stacked to me. Instead of letting them go for like D-Light for free, I go for D-Light just to hit them back, right? So anytime I'm stuck to my opponent, I'm going to be looking for D-Light. And then as for Side Light, it's similar to N-Light, but it takes longer to come out. So this is kind of like my more riskier option. But because I get true combos off of it, like Dare and Nair, this is my combo starter. So I'm going to be going for this move as like my main punish option, right? If my opponent's missing an attack and I know I have a guaranteed punish on them, right? I don't have to go for like anything quick like N-Light. I actually have time to set up for a Side Light. That's why I'm going to go for Side Light and net some extra damage, right? There's more risk behind Side Light because it takes longer to come out. But in return, I get extra damage compared to just N-Light where it sends my opponent far away and I only get like 15 damage off of it. Okay, so right here, this is kind of an example of using your weapons kit, right, effectively. Right here, I misinputted N-Light, so I'm basically giving my opponent a free punish. So they should start landing on me with a Dare, for example, on Sword, right? Because that's probably the best hit to go for here. Instead, my opponent decides to land with a Nair, right? Which just isn't going to hit me. So by the time I get out of this N-Light, he's stuck in N-Light frames, or sorry, Nair frames. So I quickly input D-Light, knowing it sends me behind him. And this D-Light's just a free hit because I'm stacked. A lot of Lance players here, what they would do instead is they would miss this move, and they'll be scared of Sword, so either they'll try to spot dodge or they'll try to dash away. And that might make them miss, like, a free, you know, move because they're just dashing away, they don't get set up. In this case, like, my opponent is drifting forward, so let's say if I were to dash back, I might not get a Side Light off because they're going to get all the move in time. So because I go for D-Light here, it just guarantees me a free hit that a lot of people wouldn't go for because they wouldn't even think about the fact they have a D-Light in their kit to hit stacked options with. Okay, so another way to master your weapon is to actually go into training room and just start labbing out strings and figuring out what strings are the most optimal to go for in your games. So for me, because I play Lance, one string I really like to go for at wide HP, like whenever the game just starts, is going for a Side Light Dare into N-Light, right? Because this one frame, my opponent can't jump out of it, so they're forced to dodge out of it. And so a lot of times at the start of the game, your opponents won't dodge out of like strings or anything. So it's a really good call out, just calling your opponent for not dodging, and it just guarantees you free extra damage. Also, it's really safe to go for, so a lot of people can't punish you for it. Okay, so another string I really like to go for when my opponents are like higher HP and they're trying to like dodge away from me to avoid my kill options is I like to go for Side Light Dare and just chase dodge Zero like that. And a lot of people don't expect this because a lot of people expect like Nair or something. So all I do instead is I just chase dodge up, and then I chase dodge forward, and I just do Sarah. And this catches people who are trying to dodge away from me, people who are just standing still. Sometimes if they go off stage like this and they try to panic jump, it'll still catch that, right? So it's a really good just mix-up tool that people just don't expect because no one really goes for it, and it just leads to a lot of free kills. Like in this case, it killed at 110, right? So you can find free kills just by going for strings like that, and because of the Sarah, it's kind of hard to punish, so a lot of people won't even try to punish it on certain weapons. Another way to master your weapon is don't be afraid to use new tech or stuff that other people haven't used yet, right? Be the first to pioneer stuff on your weapon. So for me, for example, right, because I play Lance, there's a tech known as Instant Sarah and Instant Dare, and that's something I really, really like to go for, right? And a lot of the times it confirms me games, and a lot of the times people just don't expect it, so I can just do it for free, and then I'm basically just confirming kills because my opponents don't expect it, because no one on Lance does it, right? And so like here's a perfect example, right, where there's no other option here other than to do Instant Sarah. It is the best option to go for here, and I'm going to show you exactly why this is something you should start doing, why you should start pioneering stuff like this, because probably no one on Lance would do this other than me, right? So right here I'm fighting against Cannon, and the person's already used all their options, right? They don't have a jump, they don't have a dodge, right? They're sweating. So right here on Cannon, the only way for them to get to the wall is if they do Sarah, which obviously they're going to do. They're just waiting for me to touch wall, so then they can try to confirm a Sarah onto me, right? So the best option here is to actually go for Instant Sarah, because your Sarah's going to come out before their Sarah hits you. So it's just a free hit, and then in this case, because they have no options, this is just a guaranteed kill option. But a lot of Lance players here, they don't know about Instant Sarah, or they don't go for it, so instead they just get hit by a free Cannon Sarah, then, you know, maybe sometimes they even get, like, strained to death, right, where they get hit by Ground Pound or Dare, right? So because I go for this Instant Sarah, I just confirm the kill, right? And this is something no Lance player does, right? So Lance players should start doing this, because right there, boom, I confirm a kill, right? And this is something I use a lot, like I said, like this is something I'm going to go into every game. I try to use if I can, right? If I'm in a situation where I know I can either do an Instant Stare or Instant Dare, I'm going to go for it just to confirm kills. Okay, so right here is just another example of me using the instant stare, instant dare tech. I see my opponent go down, boom, I instant dare, and then I confirm a kill just because I go for the instant dare. If I didn't go for that, they would have got the stage for free, but because I went for it, I get a free kill. Okay, so the final tip to master your weapon is to go over to the Brawlhalla esports channel or go over to Brawlhalla and basically just watch pro gameplay, right? Because pros are going to play your weapon at a super high level, right? So just figure out what weapon you like to play. For example, if you play Scythe, you can watch Markimu, right? If you play something like Axe, for example, you can watch Saphir, right? If you play Bow, you have Flower, Impala, you have someone else too, like Balloon Boy, right? If you play Bow, right, you have Radish. Same for if you're playing like Battle Boots, Radish here, right? If you play Greatsword, you have Use. I think I already said that one, but still, like, you get the point. If there's a weapon you play, you can go look, right? Like, if you play Cannon, you have like Adam McCool down here, right? Jeff Wardo for Hammer, Pierre for guitars, right? There's a bunch of different pros you can go look at, right? And you can just look through these games. You can look through like money matches and stuff and just find your weapon, and you can see people playing your weapon at a super high level, and then you can see what they're doing, what strings they're going for, what kind of stuff they're going for, what is something that they're doing that you're not, and then you start adding that to your gameplay, right? Like when I played Lance and I was like plat, I never even knew Nair existed, right? I was just another like plat player who just spam Sair and Dare. And so when I'm watching this like gameplay of Lance players and I see like how grounded they play or how they're going for these Nairs and stuff, that's stuff I incorporate into my game so then I can master my own weapon, right? I see what they're doing that I'm not, and then I put it into my gameplay, right? And so watching pro gameplay is really important. Figure out what they do that you're not. Overall though, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed, let me know. And other than that, I will see you in the next one.